Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Stormcast Eternals, and in particular the Sacrosanct Chamber part of the army. In this video we'll talk about what exactly is the Sacrosanct part of the army, what exactly do we get with it, and then we'll look at how we can begin this Sacrosanct army force with a couple of units, and then look to expand upon it with some other choices down the line as well. We'll finally finish off the video with a little sample army list for you to use as some inspiration to create your own Sacrosanct Army Stormcast Eternals faction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And so, first of all, this is a type of Stormcast. This isn't particularly any sub-faction, rather this is a bunch of different units in the Stormcast that are called Sacrosanct units. This generally makes up a vast majority of the wizard models within the army, excluding any brand new Thunderstrike units, along with some other non-wizard units that generally get to do a bunch of cool abilities. They generally get the option of one or two different abilities to boost particular things about them. These units include things like the Lord Arcanum, Lord Exorcist, Sequitors, Knight Incantor, and other units besides as well, and we'll go through all of them in the video in particular. So with that said, let's get looking at how we can begin to start our Sacrosanct army. And so, to begin with, for our Sacrosanct army, I think a great place to start looking is, first of all, the Lord Arcanum. There are a few different variations of the Lord Arcanum available to us in Stormcast Eternals. We have 4 different versions of it. First of all, the Lord Arcanum on foot. 6 wounds at 3+ save, which is all pretty nice, and 4 attacks at 3/3 run 1 damage 2 is pretty solid for a wizard in combat. 1 cast and unbind, and he's got the Thunderclap spell where he can subtract 1 from hit rolls for enemy unit that he gets to target, and he's also got the Etheric Manipulation ability where when moving a predatory endless spell controlled by this particular unit, you can add 6 inch to the distance of that endless spell moved. We then have the Lord Arcanum on Celestial Dracoline. He's the one you can see pictured here. The Thunderous Pounce, where you can reroll charge rolls for the unit. Pack Alpha is really cool, where you add 1 to the attacks characteristic of Monstrous Claws, used by friendly Dracoline units wholly within 18 inch of this model. And then you've also got the Storm Lance spell, which is just a direct damage mortal wound dealing spell. Next up is the Lord Arcanum on Griff Charger, which has the cool Griff Charger ability of Ride the Winds Etheric, where you can just teleport around the battlefield wherever you want. And you've also got Healing Light as a spell, which is a healing spell available to you. Lastly, you have the monster variation, which is the Lord Arcanum on Taurolon. A 3-up save and 10 wounds is really cool. And you've also got 4 attacks coming out of the Taurolon at 3/3 run 1 damage D3, and the same Aether Stave attacks all the models have. A 1 cast and unbind, and the Comet Trail ability allows you to add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by friendly Stormcast Eternals and Cities of Sigmar units wholly within 3 inch of this hero. And then you've also got his Lightning Orb spell, where you pick a visible point on the battlefield and you do some mortal wounds to enemy units nearby. So a great variety of different options available to you with the Lord Arcanum, depending which one you go. I personally like the Dracoline, and that will be something we look into the list, but I think all of them definitely have some value available to you, and you can also include multiple of them if you want. Now, looking at units to go alongside, Sequitors are the place to start for a Sacrosanct army, as they are the only Sacrosanct unit that can be a battle line option. 2 wounds and a 4-up save, though we do get +1 to their saves in various other ways, like the all-out defense, but also we've got the cool Sequitur Etheric Channeling ability, where at the start of the combat phase you can say if this unit will channel etheric power into its weapons or its shields. If it puts it into its weapons, then they will get the ability to get exploding 6 to hit, meaning every hit roll of a 6 to 2 hits instead of 1, or if they choose to empower their shields, they'll get a 5-up ward in combat. What's really cool is, you can choose to go offensive or defensive. Sacrosanct weapons are nice at 2 attacks, 3/3 run 1 damage 1, and the Great Maces are the same profile but damage 2 instead. So a pretty solid battle line unit all round. Looking at some other units we can bring into the force, I think Evocators are a great place to start looking. You have 2 different variations. First of all, Evocators on foot, which are a 4-up save and 3 wounds apiece, with the option of taking Grand Staves for 3 attacks at 3s and 3s, no rend damage 2, or 4 attacks from a Tempest Blade and Storm Save for 3s and 3s to hit and wound, Rend 1 damage 1. Regardless of what evocator variation you go, even if you mount them on the Celestial Dracolines, you'll get the Celestial Lightning Arc ability, where you roll a couple of dice for each model in the evocator's unit, and for each 4+, an enemy unit suffers a mortal wound after they're fought for the first time in the round. And you also get the Empower spell, because this unit is a unit of wizards, which will add +1 to their wound rolls for their attacks in the combat phase. Really solid stuff. Dracolines, on top of all the other things, you'll get the Monstrous Claws for 3 attacks at 3/3 to Rend 1 damage D3, so some nice power there, and you'll also get to reroll charge rolls thanks to the Thunderous Pounce ability as well. Next up, another couple of hero options we have available to us. First of all is the Knight Incantor. This is a particular favourite of mine. I think he's a great option available. Now, 5 wounds and a 3-up save is pretty solid, and once again, 3 attacks at 3/3 to Rend 1 damage 2 is pretty solid for a wizard. The real power of this model, though, is in the Voidstorm Scroll, which is allowing you to pretty much automatically dispel one enemy spell once per game. A really solid thing just to stop that spell you really don't want to go off. Can really stop your opponent's alpha strikes in their tracks. Alongside that, we have the Lord Exorcist, which is one of the higher level wizards available to us. 6 wounds and a 3-up save, and his redemption stave at 4 attacks, 3/3 to Rend 1 damage 2. What's really cool is his Redemptor Casket, where slain models cannot be returned to enemy units that are within 9-inch of friendly units with this ability. And then he's also got the Purifying Blast, which is a nice little damage dealing spell for himself. Lastly, we have Castigators. This is a shooting unit available to the Sacrosanct Chamber. 4-up save and 2 wounds. Their Thunderhead Greatbow has an 18-inch range, D3 attacks at 3/3 to Rend 1 damage 1. But they do have Castigator Etheric Channeling. What's really cool about this is you can choose to either increase your accuracy or power. If you increase accuracy, you get +1 to hit, or if you increase power, you get Rend 2 instead of Rend 1. On top of that, you got Burst of Celestial Energy, where if the modified hit roll for an attack made with a Thunderhead Greatbow that targets a malignant demon or demon unit is a 6, that attack scores 2 hits instead of 1. So, pretty good with all the Horde meta and with Nighthaunt and demons always out there. A pretty cool unit to have available to you. So with all this said, let's look at how we can put this all into practice. And so here is our sample army list for you for the Stormcast Eternals. We've gone with Celestial Vindicators. I particularly like this with Sequitors. Celestial Vindicators is allowing you to pick one and your units that charge, and you can get Exploding Sixes on your hit rolls. Why this is particularly good is it goes nicely with the Sequitors, meaning you can always get both of the Sequitors' abilities off on the same turn. Really cool. Now we've got the grand strategy for Hold the Line. We've got a decent couple of battle line units that are pretty survivable. No Triumph, as we are a perfect 1,000 points in this army. Now, a general is going to be a Lord Arcanum on Celestial Dracoline, who's going to have the Master of Magic, which will allow him to reroll 1 Unbind and 1 casting per turn, and the Artifact, the Arcane Tome, which will allow him to cast an extra spell. His Scintillating Trail ability means enemies are going to be -1 for their magical abilities around him, and he's got the spell Celestial Blades on as well, which I think is a particularly nice spell available to him, where it's going to add +1 to wound rolls. Now, obviously, this is already a spell with Empower that we've got on Evocators, but this means he can use it on himself or indeed Sequitors or any other unit available. We then have a Knight Incantor who's going to have the spell Thundershock, which is a -1 to wound spell in an area around the caster. Pretty cool stuff. Now, we've then got Battleline 2 units of 5 Sequitors. With the maximum amount of Stormsmite Great Maces, you can have 2 in every 5 +1 for your unit champion. So in 5 you get 3, but you would only get another 2 if you went to 10, for example. Now, unit-wise, on the other units, we've got 3 Evocators on Celestial Dracolines. He's going to work alongside our Lord Arcanum and just be really a big hammer for the army. Rounding out the army, we have 3 Castigators, which will provide a nice little bit of shooting support, potentially getting rid of screens or enemy units that are trying to sneak around, lone enemy characters and stuff like that can be taken out pretty well by Castigators. Everything is wrapped up inside a battle regiment, so it is a 1-drop army. 54 wounds is a little bit on the lower side, but most of these are in pretty survivable models, and a 1-drop thanks to that battle regiment as mentioned. If you've been playing with the Sacrosanct army in the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, let us know how you've been going and what you've been doing down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And drop us a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members, or grabbing some channel merch off our merch store on Teespring, which is on our YouTube store as well. You can also come chat with me and other members of our little community here and our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description, along with the Patreon and YouTube members links. And as a special shout out to all those Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giapi390. And a special thank you to our YouTube members: Greenroost Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Locke Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller as well. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to everyone who comes on the channel and helps us create everything we do. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.